So on top of our regular program work, and this is something that these programs, actually, these tree planting programs did particularly amplified. We did spend quite a bit of time on these ones in the first 3 months, really gearing up for that March 12 from the beginning of the year, from the new year. But as everyone knows, there's also a drought going on, and this drought actually extends across many states. Unfortunately, it seems quite severe. So with monitoring things like water restrictions coming within certain cities, counties, and almost across the state, I'm not sure if it's mandatory yet. We started a campaign earlier. Nancy was kind of onto this quite early, that we needed to get back into doing our Save Our Trees and Save Water campaign before it's really started to, before even the summer. I think this was back in early spring. So looking at ways that people can save water and use that water to actually water their trees, because a lot of people turn off their irrigation to their lawn and their poor trees will get thirsty. So we have a lot of material. We looked at some things. So some things like social media graphics. So a number of these are all set up with just little tips on how you can save water and also save your trees. So there's kind of those two threads from the little icon at the beginning. And then I tried out a almost like a mini campaign within a campaign here, which is the 5-gallon bucket challenge. So save water around your home to fill up your 5-gallon bucket, and then you can use that to water your trees. So developing a few more posts that we can use around that can keep going throughout the summer. We have we were talking with a number of the other nonprofit groups and organizations early about drought and water. Probably several months ago now. There seemed to be a lot of people on those calls. But looking at how we could develop materials that different people can, different groups can then customize, because we've done this very successfully in the past. We've developed infographics. We have the drought flyer. So one thing I've noticed, now that we've been using Canva quite a bit, and our program team, so when we're doing events like the Amplify event and we're using Canva, then I can set up a template and then the team can go in and make their own flyers. I don't have to do 30 flyers for them. I can do the one and they can kind of run with it from there. So one of the things that's great about Canva as well is I can set up a lot of these social share graphics, and we can use a link on our website we can even link it to a form, which I've been learning to do the last few days, and offer it as some free assets. So I can lock content on the actual templates of the graphics, and other groups can then add their own logo or and then download it, so that we can use that to keep spreading the message. And one of the bits of giving them having a form in between is that we can get them to sign up for things like our newsletter and keep in touch with them and find out who actually is using them. So that's something I'm expanding our drought awareness campaign into. So this is the flyer that I mentioned just before that was very successful for us. So in the last drought, and I believe in the last drought we co-branded it for about 30 or more, maybe it was 50 different cities or groups, and it even ended up in the governor, which was Jerry Brown at the time, in his one of his press release packs, I believe, on the drought. So that was quite good. So we have that one. Another thing, now that our Amplify program's done, is getting back into developing some more content. So I developed these infographic series a few years ago. So we have growing trees as city assets, growing great neighborhoods, grow great grades with greenery, say that very fast, which was on the benefits for students and education, having a nice healthy canopy around you, urban wood, and we also did one on urban trees and pest risk because we wanted to show people just what they were going to lose if the shot hole borer got too out of control with the number of trees coming out. So I have some ideas for some new ones, which you can see as those little draft boxes. So looking at things around energy, so heating and cooling and reducing energy use, because I'm sure people are very much thinking of how much energy they're using at the moment. That's become a real issue. Also doing a revamp of our homeowners infographic that was very popular. I think that was the first infographic I did when I started volunteering, so it's a few years old now. Looking at mental health benefits. So one thing that came out of doing health graphics in the project with Ming Ko and her research that she and a group of others were doing, which was with the Kaiser Permanente data, was the cost reductions for the healthcare system of having greenery, whether that be forest canopy, tree canopy, or nature. And Ming also did a webinar for us and to present those findings. So I wanted to split some of those health benefits because we're getting more and more of them now into mental health and then also some physical health benefits, because I think there's some good ones there, and people always talk about how relaxed they feel after a walk amongst trees. So I think that one's a good one to do as well. And finally, the bringing it all together with an environmental benefits of urban forests. So some of those benefits that we talk about all the time, but giving them each their own infographic to kind of continue our series there and develop some more content for us. This is the material that ended up coming out of the study that Ming Ko was involved in and the Kaiser Permanente data. So this paper actually got published, so that was good. We started on this before COVID. I think January 2020, we were in the early stages of working on this. Nancy, myself, and Ming were working on it, and they had the findings and were having some difficulty with some of the journals to try and get it published. So you have various tiers of journals, obviously, and with COVID coming through, there was a lot of competition for getting papers published. It seemed a bit more than usual. So great news is they do get published. It is out, and we set up a 2-sided flyer. And Nancy had that at the conference in Oakland, some of those. And we developed with that, there's a landing page where we talk more about the study. And with Ming, we were developing a little series of tidbits. So around Did You Know It, to try and pull some of the main points out of the paper, and it's particularly around some of those dollar values for the actual healthcare spending cost reduction. So those are still in work. I need to touch base again with the team involved on that because there was some recalculation of figures happening, but hopefully we'll get the full program of materials out there soon. But first of all, we have a conference coming up. So I hope everyone's looking forward to this. I know I am, and it should be fun. I believe we're going to have a debate again. I think that'll be great. I think that's a nice interactive event to have with everyone. So we are, I guess, I'm waiting on more info on the content as in the lineup and the schedule for speakers, but I'm developing out all the pages and info for the conference at the moment.